Who took my soda?
It's rated S for sandwich.
Did you ever have one of those days where your 7 best friends betray you and then kill the emperor of your nation, kill your wife, and kidnap your daughter and siphon energy from her for centuries? Well, Asura's having one of those days, and it's not very fun. But the game is... Y button, B button, rotate the left analog stick, pull the right trigger. Isn't yelling things fun? Games certainly think so. Most games stick to a set of rules which they only yell at you once, or multiple times if they think that you're really stupid. And we've come to know these rules as controls. They say things like, press A to jump, press B to evade, and press X to operate doors, cars, crates, and people's faces. And we're like, yeah, that makes sense, I understand that. And everything is fine. But then there's the button prompts. The almighty contextual button prompt, colloquially deemed the Quicktime event, has been a point of discussion since it became a thing, and turned all orange, rocky, and generally unpleasant. Also bald. The verdict on Quicktime events is quite polarized by now. You either hate them, or you think they're okay when implemented with proper consideration for the player's level of engagement with the game at the given moment in time. They're hard to love, and there's a reason for that. Controls in video games are super important. Whenever a player goes to press a button, they have to know what function that button press will perform. The problem with QuickTime events is that you don't know what button is going to do the thing that's happening on the screen. Like when a door breaks down and a zombie comes out, which is the button to say, fuck the hell off zombie, I'm busy trying to go down a hallway. There's no button for that. Oh, right. This video is about Asura's Wrath. Okay, so Asura is angry and red, and I mean, honestly, I'll be frank with you all. I can't talk about the game's story. I really want to. I think it's a fantastic tale with a strong message about purpose and justice and even thinking for yourself, but I can't bring myself to spoil it for you all. However, the story is part of why the whole game works, so perhaps I'll just dip your heads in the pond slightly so that you might understand why the fish swimming there are so in love with it. It's a metaphor. The game is the pond, the fish is me. Cause I like the game. Asura's Wrath involves a strange mix of sci-fi and Asian mythology, most of which is Hindu, and it really never explains any of it. It never has to, and it never expects you to know anything more than what it tells you, so you get to enjoy the ridiculously over-the-top characters along their ridiculously over-the-top journey. The game opens on a glorious space battle, complete with flying demon monster things, hundreds of spaceships, and a cornucopia of character archetypes deemed the 8 Guardian Generals. After the battle, which is fantastic by the way, the 7 other generals assassinate the Emperor, blame it on Asura, kill his wife, then kidnap his daughter, put her in a tube, and then siphon energy out of her for centuries. So I'd say he's a little miffed. He's got a little bit of a tiff with them. He's a little upset. He's a little angry. You get my he's mad. He's a mad guy. Asura's Wrath takes advantage of its emotional storytelling to get you to feel just as angry as Asura does. Or at least as close as you can get. I mean, some of this stuff is a little impossible. In fact, the brawler combat and on-rail shooter sequences of the game are really the build-up, the calmest points of the gameplay. Fittingly, since they have the least force, they also have the least QuickTime events. Gameplay in action games is often focused around dozens of interesting environments, scenarios, and enemies. A slowly expanding repertoire makes subsequent levels more interesting, but the impressive sequences are so full of impossible stuff that they do it during cutscenes, which are usually hands-off. However, some games have cutscenes rendered in-game, like Resident Evil, and feature QuickTime events whenever the hell they feel like it. There aren't any rules because they're not part of the gameplay. They're auxiliary tools developers use to heighten the stress of a situation, and generally just make it unpleasant. Kind of like having your wife killed and your daughter kidnapped. Simply put, they're annoying. You never know when one's gonna show up. All you can do is sit there and stare at the screen. And good luck trying to check your phone, or go pee, or pet your cat, cause if you miss a QuickTime event, the game probably killed you. It killed you for trying to leave it. That lonely piece of shit.
You lack training!
Asura's Wrath, believe it or not, has rules. No, not in the form of controls, those are only for the brawler and shooter segments, and they work fine, by the way. Rather, the rules follow that of dramatic action. If you've ever seen a thriller or a martial arts movie, often cinematographers will telegraph upcoming actions with the camera work. This gets you further invested in the upcoming moment. It's why those sort of movies are so gripping despite simply being a montage of punching and kicking, or gunshots, or explosions, or cleavage, you know. It's all telegraphed, and largely sexualized. Here are some basic rules of Asura's Wrath. There is always a slowdown before a single press button prompt mid-combat. A timed button press will always have a countdown circle and will always display in the same spot on the screen. Every big Y button press during a cinematic will always line up with what's happening on the screen. Mash sequences have ample extra time. A is for movement, B is for rapid attacks or defense, and Y is always punching or catching stuff. And right trigger is always burst. Burst. Like when you're angry, because he's angry. It's about rage. The game never breaks these rules, and often simply by watching the cinematics, which are incredibly well done, you'll know when it's time to press buttons. Admittedly, yes, you still can't put the controller down, but the game can be paused at literally any moment without fear of skipping, because that function is assigned to a different button. These rules, combined with the dramatic and contextual nature of the button presses, are what transform having your cutscene interrupted into participating in things that are impossible to do with a controller, like punching back a giant celestial being while he tries to crush you into a planet with his finger. Try assigning that to the D-pad.
Can nothing quell my anger?
Asura's Wrath illustrates to you from the inception that you will be playing a part in every moment of the game, and you will quickly learn which those moments are. As the story escalates and Asura's journey gets more and more ridiculous, the game slowly ramps up its focus on emotions as well. By the end of the game, a B mashing session isn't just mashing B, it's doing your best to ensure the survival of Asura or the downfall of his foes. Timing the big Y punch isn't just punching a dude, it's all you can do to let the game know how much you hate its fucking villains. Thankfully, the main characters are pretty likable and the villains make you want to punch them in the face, with like 6 fists. How convenient.
Gameplay can only be a fully interactive experience. The world will never accept Quicktime events. What the world expects is of no consequence to me. If you play a video game because you care about its characters, it doesn't matter if you just watch a cutscene or if you press buttons during it. What matters is why. It's impossible to care about such things. It's just a game. The little buttons are made out of plastic and electronics. Your little character just does whatever you tell it to. Games will never be about emotion, and games about emotions aren't even games. They're just movies sold for $60 that try to convince you that you're playing a video game. The market is so tiny, so how can anything so insignificant possibly be worth playing? Dick.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. I know I kinda sound a little weird. It's cause I'm sick. I'm sick and I'm dying. I got the cancer. No, I don't have cancer. I just got a little bit of a throat cold. So it makes me sound all like "Ruh" all the time. Which is fine because, I mean, really it sounds cooler, let's be honest. But anyways, the video's over and stuff, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna be trying to do a little bit more to push this out. So if any of you guys who like my stuff could also do me a favor and help get the word out, spread it, much like peanut butter on a bread, or maybe jelly, or jam, or margarine, whatever you, I don't care. I don't discriminate. So if you do that for me, it really helps a lot. It really, so much. Also liking things, which you can do, you know, metaphysically, but also if you could hit the little like button so you represent your interests in the world via the YouTube interface, that'd be really great. Also subscribing and other stuff. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Oh, check out Facebook, Twitter, and shit.